Sports Newsroom. So it is time now for our interview with the representatives from the United Way of Indiana County, and that is presented by Marcus & Mack, voted best law firm, best personal injury lawyer 3 years in a row, best of Indiana County contest. Visit them online, marcusandmack.com. Joining me now is Aaron Ludwig and the executive director of the United Way of Indiana County, Joe Fishell, kind of pinch hitting for the co-chair of the campaign, Rob Heinrich. I talked with him last night. He said he was not going to be available today, but they sent in the two gentlemen that we have here today. And Aaron and Joe, thanks very much for coming in. First off, happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day.
Yeah, that's right.
To all our veterans.
Yes, indeed. So let's get started. I want to start with a recap of Pancake and Sausage Day, Aaron. How did that go? I mean, I was there for the start of it.
It was a huge success. We had a lot of people showed up. We had a lot of orders go out. I do want to apologize. There was some blueberry shortage.
Oh,
we
boy.
eventually corrected it towards the end, but they were a hot commodity that day. Yeah. Unbelievable how many people wanted the
blueberry pancakes.
We weren't expecting that. You know, Josh, it's amazing all the coordination that goes into an event like that. And we couldn't make anything like that possible without our volunteers. We had a group from S&T Bank and a group from First Commonwealth, and it was amazing just to watch them come together and get the job done and feed as many people as we did. But like Aaron said, the blueberry pancakes were a hot commodity, and they were delicious. I understand why.
Yeah, so do I. I had them. So I think I'm sorry if I contributed to that shortage. No.
You and everybody else.
Yes, absolutely.
Who would have known?
Who would have thought
And I got to tell you, one of my favorite parts was watching you do your remote, you and Todd, the magic that you guys do, and seeing how you were broadcasting from the event, talking to people. It was really cool to watch. So kudos to you and Todd.
Oh, bless, and thank you very much. That's very kind of you guys to say. Of course, that leads into something that is going to be going on within the next couple of weeks. Not this Friday, but the next, the 21st. It is the Turkey-thon. And it's a tradition that
Gobble.
Yeah, it's been a tradition here on WCCS going back many years. Bill Otto started it on the Oldies Attic, gosh knows how long ago, and now it's continuing here on Indiana in the Morning. So, Turkey-thon, Aaron, you know this event just about as well as I do.
And I'm hopeful that the weather will turn a little warmer for that day.
Yeah, you're telling me.
It's November 21st. We're going to be here. We're going to be raising funds. We're going to, Rob might be in another costume. He does enjoy putting those on.
I think that's become a tradition. I think with the Turkey-thon that we see people dressing up in turkey costumes or pilgrim hats or whatever.
And Josh, we're going to be collecting donations right here on Philadelphia Street by the Renda Building, as well as 9th, 7th, and 4th Street intersections. We'll be at the Walmart, Tractor Supply, Rural King, Giant Eagle, Ideal Market in Homer City, Tate's and Clymer, Martin's and Home, and Main Street and Route 403 in Marion Center. We'll be collecting donations all over the place, again, relying on our wonderful volunteers to help us do that.
Now, is there still a chance for people, if they want to sign up and be a volunteer for this?
Oh, absolutely. You can call the office at 724-463-0277 and sign up to volunteer. If you want to throw on a pilgrim hat and stand outside with a bucket, you're more than welcome.
I remember a couple years ago, it was the Quota Club of Indiana who was helping out volunteering. They brought roasting pans to the party to just kind of cement that theme. But the big thing also is that we're going to be here live on Indiana in the Morning. The fact that the United Way is going to be on Indiana in the Morning throughout the morning to solicit pledges as well. And people can pledge 1 turkey, 2 turkey. That's usually $15 a turkey there to cover the cost of 1 turkey. And this is what I think is very unique about this. Not only does the money go to help the United Way, it helps provide some food security around the holidays for a lot of these shelters and organizations that provide food for people who need it.
Absolutely, and that has become a greater concern within the past few weeks and what's going on at a federal as well as state level. And that's why I really enjoy doing this for the United Way. We were at First Commonwealth last week giving a little speech, and something that I brought up, and I think it's very important that you don't see what's going on behind the scenes of the United Way. We had a special emergency board meeting at 7 p.m. to discuss the needs that we were getting from some of our organizations And we actually allocated an additional $10,000 to go to those groups just because they were getting a greater need for the food insecurity, for feeding kids, and that's why these programs are so important.
That is very important. That is a very important topic because, as we mentioned here, Pennsylvania is kind of in a double whammy situation. First off, SNAP benefits are frozen as of this moment, and second off, a lot of the organizations that rely on state funding to get the money to buy the groceries to supply people with food, that's also been stopped because of the state budget impasse. So Pennsylvania kind of in that double whammy situation, kind of a rarity.
Yeah, and Rob Heinrich said it best the other day. He said, put politics aside. We're talking about hungry children here. And we're working very hard. No child in Indiana County goes to bed hungry. And again, we need to thank our campaign sponsors because without them, we couldn't do what we do. Wood Chevrolet, B&C Meters, CGN CPA, Indiana Regional Medical Center, Krebs United Publication, First Commonwealth Bank, Good and Associates, Indiana Gazette, Indiana Printing and Publishing, InFirst Bank, Kosninski Insurance, the Rischini Group, Robindale Energy, Romeo's Pizzeria and Mediterranean Kitchen, Rosebud Mining Company, S&T Bank, Sheets, Smith Lewis Chess and Company, UPMC, Haberl, Buell, Rice and Bell, Marcus and Mack, Renda Media, Frick Ketro Insurance Agency, Gibson Thomas Engineering. These are folks that support the United Way and know the difference that our organization and our community partners make in Indiana County. So thank you to them.
All right. One of the points I think we've tried to make in this as part of the campaign this year because of the campaign goal, $724,211. Now we know 724 area code here, but 211, that highlights something that I think you and Rob have been trying to highlight throughout this whole campaign. The fact is that 211, funded by the United Way, is a very essential resource.
Absolutely, and it is a number that people can call for a multitude of reasons, including food, housing, whatever their needs might be. There's a number that they can contact to reach out to get connected to those different organizations that can provide those things to them. And as you were talking about all of this going on maybe a political stance, but just from October 1st to November 3rd, there were 430 referrals just in our county using 211.
That's
that
amazing.
number is growing, and it just shows how much need there is out there.
And you know what, Josh? The other thing, to take it a step further, if you can remember those three little numbers, 211, you can be a resource to somebody in need. If you have a friend down the street who's having a hard time putting food on the table, someone who's having a hard time paying their heating bill, someone who's suffering from depression, you can help them by giving them 211 to reach out. And just a reminder, when you call the number, an actual person answers the phone.
That's right. That's a good thing to hear, too, to hear the person on the other end of the line ready to listen to you, ready to help you out with whatever you need, whether, as you said, food, housing, or any other services that are needed in Indiana County. That program funded by the money that is raised by the United Way. So, Aaron, I'm going to ask this straight up. How close are we to goal?
That's a top secret between Rob and I would never unveil it without him being here.
Come on. Well, can we?
They won't even tell me.
Can we at least get an update on the morning of the turkey-thon? How about that?
We'll give you an update of maybe percentage-wise.
Okay, percentage-wise, that I can take. That I'll do. But let's talk about, since we want to keep things here, keep the public informed about what this money goes towards. The money that is raised here in Indiana County for the United Way, it's important to note that it stays here in Indiana County, right, Aaron?
That's correct. And that's why it's so great to be part of the United Way, because the money that we're actively raising, that goal that you talked about, what the number is we're currently at, may be a mystery, but those funds stay here, feeds kids here, feeds families here, provides housing here.
Joe, maybe you can talk about some of the committees that help out, that look over some of the proposals for allocation, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a very active board at the United Way of Indiana County. Currently, we have 22 members. and they are committed to making a difference here in Indiana County. So we have our Community Impact Committee, which is chaired by Jen Van Wieren. They're looking at data. They're talking to people that are supplying those needs in the community, trying to make decisions about how best to meet those needs. We have lots of folks that are working hard behind the scenes. And I love that Aaron brought that up. It's not, it's not what you see when we're collecting money here for Turkeython. It's also the stuff that happens behind the scenes, board meetings, decisions, all of the dedicated folks that make things at the United Way of Indiana County work the way they work. Our president, Ben Gandolfi, he's always out there in the lead. We're following him. He's doing a great job there, all to benefit the citizens of Indiana County. I like to say we've always been here and will always be here.
Right. Okay, so let's recap one more time. This on November 21st, Turkeython. What time are we looking at starting? Around 7 o'clock or so?
I think it's on the schedule for 7, so whatever time I actually roll in.
All right.
I think we started like
me,
7:40. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, and if anybody has more and wants more information, they can go to the United Way website and Facebook page and all that stuff.
Absolutely. Or call the office. Michelle and Kayla are there. They can answer any questions that you might have.
You know, I forgot to mention we do have a special guest with Erin. It's because she is not in school today because it is Veterans Day. This is and Erin introduced me to her.
Yes, it's my daughter Alex. She does not have school today. She is a good reminder of the outreach of Turkeython, though, because the schools.
That's right.
Some of the schools are also collecting, so hopefully she's going to help me raise some funds for Turkeython.
All right. Well, we hope that it's a successful Turkeython. And Alex, I hope that the school does a good job too in their fundraisers as well. And I'm getting a smile and a nod, so it must mean it's going well. All right, gentlemen, we've passed the clock, so we got to go. Thanks very much again for joining us here on Indiana in the Morning.
Thank you, Josh.
We'll see you on the 21st. Okay.
Gobble gobble.
Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Banker. Interview presented by Marcus and Mack, voted best law firm, best personal injury lawyer 4 years in a row, best of Indiana County contest. Visit them online, marcusandmack.com. Let's get to the Sports Minute.
This is Boomer Esiason with the Sports Minute. Cleveland Guardians All-Star closer Emmanuel Clase and starter Luis Ortiz were indicted 2 days ago for allegedly participating in a